We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
$6 million in just hours to pay. The ransom clock is ticking in the search for Nancy Guthrie. So are these threats real? And what happens if the clock runs out? Plus, caught on camera, investigators seen searching a septic tank near Nancy Guthrie's home. So what exactly are they looking for? Also, police at Annie Guthrie's home. She and her husband are the last two people to see Nancy alive. And who knew that Nancy was alone? We're talking about the questions that are swirling around this morning. We have team coverage for you. Court TV's Cody Thomas is in Tucson, Arizona, and joining us live, a panel of seasoned investigators ready to tackle the burning question of what happened to Nancy Guthrie. It's all coming up next for you right here on Opening Statements. So let's start with the purported ransom notes. Are these real, or should we be suspicious? Agent Coffendeffer, let me start with you, please.
I think we should be very suspicious. They didn't come in timely. They came in 3 days late. They went to media outlets instead of the family.
We're here at the South Carolina Department of Probation, Parole, and Pardon Services in Columbia, South Carolina, where Susan Smith is pushing for her freedom. This building behind me is where her parole hearing will be taking place.
We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell.
There's a body inside.
Yeah.
From divorce to alleged killer, the ex-husband of Monique Tempe, arrested in her murder and the murder of her husband, Dr. Spencer Tempe. We're on the ground in Ohio, where defendant Michael McKee is expected in court. Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas is live for us in Columbus, Ohio. He's outside of the Franklin County Municipal Courthouse this morning. Cody, good morning to you. Share with us, please, the latest on defendant Michael McKee.
Well, good morning to you too, Julie. Yeah, crazy story after a 10-day manhunt. Michael McKee arrested. This is Monique Tempe's ex-husband, arrested for the double murders of Spencer and Monique.
I hope the jurors in Cardi B's trial got their eyes checked. I hope they all have perfect vision, because in order to assess the evidence of the plaintiff's alleged injuries, they're going to need it. Plaintiff Imani Ellis was working as a security guard when she claims that Cardi B assaulted her. She says that Cardi B yelled at her, called her terrible names, and scratched her face with her long fingernails. Now, I want to show you the photo of her alleged facial injury. And if you wear glasses like me, you want to put them on right now. So let's take a look at this together. The woman's cheek injury that supposedly required over $17,000 worth of plastic surgery to fix. Do you see this? The only thing that I see when I look at this photo is why Cardi B went to trial. Launch her. I think the judge should launch the au pair today at her sentencing. Defendant Juliana Magalhaes admittedly helped plan and carry out the murders of two people, Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan. Then she struck up a deal for manslaughter and a recommendation from the prosecutor's office for time served in exchange for her trial testimony against Loverboy Taxman. With the guilty verdict, we can see that the jury didn't believe his story about Marcy having a seizure the morning after an intense massage. That was hogwash. The members of the jury used their common sense. They recognize that you don't get bruising underneath your jawline and your earlobes and brain swelling and hemorrhaging from a massage.
We, the jury, ask to count one, find the defendant guilty.
The Ferris jury went from deadlocked to guilty on all counts. So what happened during those deliberations? Well, one of the jurors in the Burn Powell murder trial joins us live. So let's start with what influenced you the most hearing this case?
For me personally, it was just the overwhelming
in my opinion, evidence that she was there during the opportune times for the murder and the cleanup.
Welcome back to Opening Statements. We continue our coverage of the breaking news out of Los Angeles as police are investigating the murders of Hollywood director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Reiner. They were found stabbed to death in their Los Angeles home on Sunday late in the afternoon. The Reiner family confirming their identities with a statement. Multiple law enforcement sources have reported the stabbing. And now multiple sources tell People that the alleged killer was the couple's son, Nick. The son being questioned right now. What are some of the things you're thinking about, please?
So I actually did this case. I did the Eric Bellucci case, who killed both his mother and father. And there was a long history of mental illness.
In the request for a new trial, they're citing behavior outside of the courtroom as a potential basis for granting their request, including this moment we caught on our Court TV cameras where the Grammy Award-winning rapper threw a pen at a reporter in the crowd. This was an incident that Ellis's legal team claims where someone was pushed and injured. They stated in their motion that Cardi B's actions were completely unlawful and disrespectful, saying that additional time is needed to determine if her actions were seen by the jury. He is a celebrity attorney. You saw him try and win the landmark case, Depp versus Heard. Johnny Depp's attorney, Ben Chu. Ben, good morning. Good to see you as always. All right, so let's start with the motion for a new trial. This request that Ms. Ellis's legal team has filed, citing the pen incident. What are your thoughts on how well that argument is going to do for them?
Well, good morning, Julie. Great to be with you. I think that Ms. Ellis and her counsel have violated the rule of holes, which is when you're in one, stop digging.
And in New York, we've got closing arguments beginning at 10 a.m. in the case we were just talking about, the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. This is history in the making. A huge day here in New York City. People are lining up already. People have been here overnight at the courthouse getting ready for the all-important closing arguments.
The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways.
How are you all feeling right now? Anything you want to say?
As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent, and we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight anymore.
The jury only has to find that 2 crimes were committed. Do you think they'll be able to get there?
Again, always very difficult to judge what a jury is going to do. You never know as a trial attorney. What I can say, though, is I think it was a good strategy in presenting all those crimes in the way they did.
With me now, Sean Combs' attorney, Mark Agnifilo. Mark, great to be with you. Thank you for being on the program today. And might I just say, I got to see you deliver the closing arguments in the case, and you were an outstanding advocate for Mr. Combs.
Oh, thank you very much, and thanks so much for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's get into this bail package that you have proposed. I read your motion, and you talk about the exceptional facts of this case and how the way the Mann Act is being applied is kind of like one of a kind. Would you walk us through what you mean by that, please?
Sure. So the Mann Act was passed in 1910, and it's changed a few times through the years. But really what it's geared at, what it's focused on, is prosecuting people who make money from the business of prostitution.
This morning, we're spotlighting new reaction to Susan Smith's upcoming parole eligibility. The convicted killer became infamous after drowning her 2 young sons and then trying to mislead the public into thinking that they had been kidnapped. Her husband at the time, David Smith, was by her side supporting her until she confessed. Now, David has been quiet for years about the case, but he recently gave us an exclusive interview talking about her upcoming parole hearing and how he's doing today.
I don't think I'm any more of a suspect than anyone in this case right now.
It's very painful to know that anyone would think that either of us had anything to do with this abduction of our children.
David, how do you feel about Susan wanting you to advocate for her prison release?
I think it's absurd. I can't comprehend that she even thinks that I would advocate for her.
This morning, we're giving a voice to victims as a mother and father fight for justice for their daughter, who was found stabbed some 20 times inside of her Philadelphia apartment. Ellen Greenberg's fiance made the discovery back in 2011. Her death was ruled a homicide, but then was changed to suicide, which her family has never believed.
She went and filled up her car with a full tank of gas, then came home, and then everything gets very murky because all we're able to do is rely on Sam's voice.
You know what I want to do right here? I want to put the focus on the victims. Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. They are who I hope this world always remembers.